Hi, everybody. Welcome to your morning message. Today's message is for January 28th, 2020. Of course, you know these readings are absolutely timeless and they are for absolutely anybody in any way that it resonates with you. If you'd like a personal reading with me, you're more than welcome to check the description box below. You'll find a link to my Etsy shop, and you'll also see that I'm starting to offer one-on-one coaching with people. Of course, for right now, it'll be video chat. Yay! Unless you're in Osaka, Japan. Also, if you'd like to donate to me, thank you so much in advance. There is also a link to that in the description box as well. Alright, so guys, let's jump right into our reading. So for today's reading, take a look at these two lovely cards. Obviously, they look like two different people. One person is sitting and the other person is standing. They both seem to be focused on two different things. The numbers are different, the backgrounds are different, but let me let you know, what we're looking at here is actually the same person. What we're seeing here today is a reflection of a mood that a lot of people are in these days. So in this Ten of Wands, the Ten of Wands is known as a completion of a cycle, right? It's putting down your burdens, it's resting, it's whatever after a long cycle of heavy lifting, let's put it that way. However, and usually it's marked by using a lot of your energy, maybe even using a lot of your passion, something that may have had you very invested in it. But what I'm seeing here is just your energy, if this reading is for you, God bless, your energy just sitting and just having a lot of thoughts about this. This is somebody who is lamenting about life in general after having gone through just very stressful times. I definitely have noticed that the King of Cups has come out 2 times in this reading. One over here, ding, and one over here, ding. And so the King of Cups is representing, obviously, well, not obviously, but in my intuitive reading of this energy, it's representing some expectations that did not work out well for a love relationship. However, it's also representing something that didn't work out well in general. For some of you, what didn't work out well in your estimation is life. So you're like, well, my whole life, blah, blah, blah. For some of you, it could have been a job situation. No matter what it is, it's an experience that you're lamenting. Off the screen, you guys know I like to pull the cards at the bottom of the deck. These 2 cards come at the bottom of this deck where this other King of Cups has shown himself, okay? Now, notice the 9 of Swords. The 9 of Swords speaks of sleepless nights. It could be insofar as depression, crying in the car, crying in the bath, crying on your bike ride to school, whatever this is deep depression. This is, but it's very mental. But as you guys know, physiologically speaking, your emotions can be very, very, very tangible, almost palpable at times. And this is what we're seeing. This is obsessive thinking. It's the blues, so to speak. Even look at the colors on both cards. It's the blues. So remember, the King of Cups does not need to refer to a missed opportunity in love or something that has happened. Instead, it refers to, what's the best way to say, expectations that did not work out in your favor, okay? Now, you can see that better right here, okay? Look at him. He, as the King of Cups, he's sitting here. His face is screwed up and like, oh, this sucks. I'm upset. I'm never gonna love again. I'm never gonna open a business again. I'm never doing this again. Look at him pouring out all those hopes and dreams that he had in this King of Cups. I mean, in this cup, right? And we see boats in the distance sailing away. We even see that mermaid like, bye, sailing away. So this is about this general malaise that's hanging in the air for a lot of people. Of course, obviously, we know in the States we're dealing with the loss of Kobe, and even though there were many lives lost that day, and even though many, many, many lives, more than we can count, have been affected by the events of that day, and even though we don't know any of these people personally, most of us, if any, all of us, it still has a way of promoting a sense of sadness and depression within the collective, because Kobe Bryant and sports and just his role in society, whether good or bad, and there have been both, God bless, as with everybody, right? But regardless of that, him and his persona have occupied a part of our how can we say this, our social awareness, our social conditioning, our cognitive, our social cognition, whatever you want to say, right? Our cognitive map as far as our livelihood and our society. And so when you have something that is considered to be something to be expected, just to be there all the time, when it's just moved away like that, it can be very traumatic. So a lot of people are grieving in general, is my long story short. However, what's going on in the air in general these days is just a lot of stress. People are going through stress because of the astrological influences, stress because of politics, stress because of health, regular daily things that affect each of us on an individual level. So there's exhaustion. Look at this person. He's just like in that 10 of Wands. But in this card, as I was saying earlier, I'm also sensing a sense of depletion, a sense of defeat. And this is not for everybody. Obviously, guys, this is coming through for this group of people today. And there's this, I guess, just being at a loss. But what Spirit is pointing out with this juxtaposition is that today's reading is them trying to speak faith into you, trying to speak into your soul, so to speak, in your spirit, and trying to get that spirit back up, because this is how they want to see you, as this Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is all about working hard. It's about focus. It's about challenge, right? Look at this person rising to the occasion. His posture is completely different. He's got these things to work on, and he's about to chisel it. He's just making magic, basically. And this is where they want you to be. They're saying that, yes, life has many plot twists and turns, ups and downs, upheavals, they're saying. However, what they want is to always be able to come in and support you and to help you to get back on your feet, in a sense, to keep going. Now, they know that just because you come to a YouTube reading doesn't mean that you're going to have all of your fears and all of your stress just wiped away. And if you do, thank you, yay, right? But what they're trying to say is that, as a rule, as a general principle or policy, Spirit works towards helping you to keep going, helping you to not sit down here and wallow too much and to get lost in the weight of the world, because they're saying the world can't afford to have you checked out and out of commission, right? And depending on the severity of what it is that you're going through, in terms of your emotions, your resolve to move forward, they're going to supply you with different forms of therapy, soothing, sustenance, whatever it is that you need. But they're saying that they see you, right? They see you, and they want to bring you back to this level where you know that things aren't perfect, but doggone it, you're going to keep trying. Now, over here, I keep seeing in this Family of Light card, it looks like college here. And so I'm wondering if they want to use that analogy of Earth School being like a college, or being like a master's class, if you want. Coming to Earth and dwelling on Earth is what they're saying, is not, they're saying, and inside of Earth. Okay, we get it, right? They're saying it's no easy ride. It's not a ride in a park. It's not a walk in a park. This is for those who are tough, they're saying. And so they understand that, but they also understand that what has brought you to Earth and that you've forgotten has been passion. So let's take a look at these three cards here. Over to the left, we've got this beautiful grounding card where there's this lovely lady, you guys, bending down and giving devotion to this beautiful flower that is of the earth. It's a sacred flower. Guess what? And look at her taking her robes off because she wants to meld with the flower. She wants to be at one with that sacred being that is dwelling within the flower. In other words, she wants to, She wants to not excel, this is when the words fail, the energy. She wants to dwell, be enveloped by, like, I gotta use all these different words to say it, but she wants to merge with the essence of source energy, all that is. And so what happens is, look at that kind of devotion. The one word that can come from that is devotion. When you are devoted to something, it's when you see people touch their foreheads and then their hearts, and then they bend down and they touch the earth and they put their head to the earth. This is devotion. This is gratitude, all in one. That's the energy with which you've come to earth, because you wanted to learn, you wanted to be, you wanted to experience. Look at the next card. Further going along with that, look at that. That is the look of devotion. It says God, it says source energy, let my will be your will. Anything that you see and you want, God, let me be an extension of that, so that I may be of complete and total use for you, in service to yours, right? And that's the energy. And some of you may be like, what? You crazy, or no, well, they weren't paying my bills, and where was spirit when this was happening? And you have to understand that those feelings are a byproduct, understandable, of living here on this earth. And trust me, guys, I know it. Okay, don't ever for 1 second think that your YouTube readers have not gone through all of these things. Otherwise, it would ring very hollow for us, right? Or otherwise we couldn't carry the charge that's needed to be able to bring these. So I completely understand those kinds of feelings, but you have to also understand that I can see that this is the energy here that brought you to earth. When you're down here and we're in the thick of it, we're going through all sorts of craziness. But that being said, you came here with devotion in mind. It is devotion and a desire to be of service and to experience that brought you here, and that sustains your soul. Your soul just wants to learn. And here we have this beautiful card. That's you, cute, right? And look at all of these beautiful spirits here around you. And as I talk about it, it kind of makes me want to cry just a little bit, because it feels so good. And my wish is that when I'm feeling these feelings as they're here in the air, that those feelings can be extended and perceived of by you, to feel the beauty there. And trust me, I know, and I'm like begging them and going through the 10 million stages of grief and like bargaining, how much money do you want, like, please alleviate this, please bring this person back, please whatever. When I'm in pity party, which is like every day, God bless, I get angry, I lash out at my guides, but at the end of the day, I know that I was the one who brought myself here. And I know that. And I know that it's because on some level, I wanted to experience, and I wanted to push myself, and I wanted to just feel a sense of being filled. It's something that is completely beyond anything that we could even fathom here, and that we can even get from another person. That's the energy that we came to earth with, and these sacred beings have come with us. And they are here to help us in our achieving of our own goals. Okay, water time. It can be very difficult when we have to go through these things and we have to experience things. I mean, sometimes just hearing stories, about, could be anything from children dying and having to be soldiers at young age, having that loss of innocence, all the way to people losing their lives in shootings, the people losing their homes, getting locked up, all sorts of things. And even things like, oh my gosh, these animals are going to be extinct, and oh my gosh, look at all the litter in the forest, and those kinds of things literally bring people to tears. Because when you are in that heart space, when you're connected with humanity, and when you're connected with source energy, and you're in there, these things bring you to tears. That's when you cry for things that other people are like, why are you crying? You don't even know those people. Why are you crying? It's just like litter, they clean it up every year, the earth, this and that, right? But those things can bring you to tears. I remember watching Star Trek The Next Generation, and one of the episodes was one where oh God, sadly they blew up a planet. I forgot the episode, God bless, but what happened was that a planet ended up being blown up, and I just remember like starting to cry, and it was like, obviously there might have been some karmic things there from another lifetime, right? But the point is, it's like to feel that. What I felt was like, how could anybody destroy something so sacred as a planet? And it's like those kinds of feelings don't make sense when you write it down on paper, but when you are feeling it and you are with your open heart, it can move you to tears, because there's beauty and sacredity in, in everything. Okay? And anyway, so I just I hope that I have been successful in showing you the feeling of devotion and oneness. My hands are like feeling of devotion and oneness that has brought you to this earth. So today, Spirit is trying to connect you with those feelings, because they understand that when you're down here and you're stuck with the bills and the betrayals and the heartbreaks and the illnesses and the fear and the pandemics and all of this, it's very easy to get lost in that. And that's what we're seeing here. They're also bringing through this energy that a lot of you are having this, well, back to the drawing board feeling, right? It's almost like, well, I thought this was going to work out. Well, guess not. Here I am having to go through every day looking like I'm happy, but I'm not really. And at the end of the day, here are my guides offering me yet another thing to do when it's not fair, and all those energies. I thought I was going to get married to this person. Turns out this person was totally 10 timing me, and I'm back to square one. And now they're telling me to move on because it's a lesson and that's it. And it's like, ugh. So it's all of that energy that they're coming in to show you. I'm seeing you guys, not all of you obviously, but a lot of you be carrying around this Nine of Swords energy. Now, even though things are maybe looking good and whatnot, you may still be dealing with some Nine of Swords energy, which is the sleepless nights and the crying and the obsessive thoughts. You might be dealing with a lot of that, not only because, oh, by the way, that's the second time it's come up, not only because of the astrological influences going on and your shadows coming up, but because things are happening every day that may induce those feelings. I want you to know that when you experience this Nine of Swords energy, it is definitely an invitation to inquiry. It's an invitation to look behind that door with the red light coming through. What's back there? Why am I getting triggered when I see this? Somebody just shoplifted and they got arrested, and it's triggering me and I don't know why. Things like that. Even though they're in the wrong, why does it trigger me? Why do I feel sad for this person? Why do I feel angry? Why do I feel like they need to off with his head because he tried to steal a candy bar, right? Like overreaction much, right? And so these are invitations to inquiry, finding out about yourself. They're saying that a lot of you are carrying around this Nine of Swords energy and not feeling good about your life. And so the question is, okay, you're right. What is your advice to us? And their advice is, of course, going to be something like keep going, stay strong. But they're saying that one thing that could help to liberate you is to understand that life is cyclical. A lot of our suffering comes from the expectation that things are always going to be good, that they're only going to be good, and that the goal is always to have the man in the bed, or to have the money in the bank, or to have the degree on the wall. And they're saying it's good to have goals, but when you have goals, a lot of times it focuses you too much on the outcome and too much on the destination, and it doesn't help you to focus on the journey, which is the soul's focus. And guys, guilty, you know me, I'm an Aries. I'm like, what are we doing? I'm not getting out of this chair unless I know where I'm going. Then otherwise, if I'm not, and I'm just walking around, I'm wasting my time. So imagine that kind of mentality. It sucks, guys, because that's not the mentality that fuels your sacred chart. The mentality that fuels your chart is on the way to achieving that thing, or experiencing the achievement of that thing. Your soul wants you to feel into what gets you there. Don't just look at these two people getting married. Feel the journey. Don't just look at this funeral. Feel the journey up until the funeral, then feel the funeral, then feel the feelings, right? It's about experiencing. That's what they want us to shift our focus to. And if you shift our focus, okay, listen, if we, because I gotta include me, if we shift our focus to saying to our children and our children's children, don't focus on the end, focus on the journey. Get started, have hope, but focus on the journey, then that will help soothe you a lot more. So what is the journey tonight? Are you thinking about just getting your stomach full and having that money moment when you bite into that burger? Or are you thinking about the journey to get there? Wow, wouldn't it be great to get up and to wear this dress and to wear that and to get into the car and to feel the cold air on me and to get to the fast food place? So think about the journey, because when you do that, you realize that there are so many things that come between point A and B. And what you thought was point B is actually point P. And you've got A, B, C, D, E, O, P, right? That's a remix, right? And so when you do that and you acknowledge those pieces in between A and P, what used to be A and B, then you start to realize, oh my God, not only are there things there, but there are choices I can make. There are experiences I can have. And then you can realize that you can't blame yourself for not getting to point P in the state that you wanted. In other words, if you just keep thinking about procuring this guy, for example, right? He's right here. If you keep thinking of, maybe I shouldn't say procuring, okay. If you keep thinking about landing this guy, oh my God, I want my boyfriend, my boyfriend, blah, 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 boyfriend, and you're not thinking about all of the things that lead up to having a connection with a human being already, and then with somebody as sacred as a romantic partner, right? When you start to realize that there's a lot that goes on between here and here, that's when you start to realize that there's a lot that you can manifest with, a lot of power that you can have, a lot of learning that you can have, a lot of experiencing that you can have, a lot of choices you can make, a lot of failures that can happen, right? And successes as well. But once you start to have an awareness of this in between, then you start to realize, God, if I don't end up having this boyfriend materialize, or if we end up breaking up, then hey, I won't blame myself. I won't hate myself so much, because you know what? Look at how many things I had to go through just to get to that moment, right? Instead, we're like, why couldn't I just make him love me? Why couldn't I be enough? Well, hold on a second. Like, do you know, like, you were doing small mini miracles every day just to even get to that point? Don't give yourself a hard time if what you consider to be successful, which is the achieving of whatever experiences that you wanted, the boyfriend, the new job, the house, the car, the whatever, if you open yourself up to the experience of getting there, you'll realize that many things can go wrong and many things can go right. But what doesn't change is that you have the ability to perceive of it in a certain way, and you have the ability, based on your perceptions, to make choices in alignment with your highest good. And then, based on all of those many choices, whether or not you end up with the person after all in the way that you originally intended, we don't know. And then on top of that, it may not even be the most important thing. And that's because now you're focusing your attention on the in-between. Does that make sense, guys? So they're saying that, in long story short, one way to help bolster you against the pain, the inevitable pain of life, is for you to, number one, remember that all of life is cyclical. What is up must come down. What is in must go out, right? What else? Left must go right. You get the point. And number two is to focus on the journey and not the destination. Because if you focus on the destination, you will set yourself up for disaster and depletion and disappointment and frustration, and of course ultimately you will turn that in on yourself as failure, because you will come to believe that you failed because you couldn't even get this thing. You were so focused on the end result that you didn't realize all of the power you had leading up to that, and then all the choices you had to make. I mean, just the sheer amount of choices should absolve you of any responsibility for the outcome of that thing, especially when you consider that you're not the only one making choices. And it's ridiculous, guys. We all are guilty of it. Okay, so focus on the journey. Now let's take a look here. Another tip, hold on, let me pause and entitle this very quickly. Okay, had to put a title on the video really quickly. All right, another thing that they're showing here, again, is perspective. You guys remember back in the day, I think it was either October or November, they spoke about this concept of perception, right? So basically they're saying that how you perceive of things makes all the difference. And we know that. Look at this, IXXI, right? 9, 11. But anyway, what they're trying to say, and the 9 of Cups is all about wishes fulfilled. Here we have the Justice card, right? And the Justice card can come through with many different meanings. But what I'm seeing here is that they're saying that, yes, even when you have these positive things in your life, like having your wishes fulfilled, that even must change, right? You must change, because things have to be balanced out. It's all about a balancing of experiences. And so yeses one minute can turn to no's another minute. And sometimes when the yes is for you, it means a no is for somebody else. And so they're also coming through saying that another the tip that they're bringing through is that you have to have all things in moderation. Okay, so moderation is the key for a lot of you. And they're saying it keeps tying into this whole idea of duality. Like, if I have this is good, and if I have that, that's bad, or it's not good. And if something's good, then I can have more and more of it. And if I have more and more of it, it'll make me happier and it'll be better and better. But they're saying it doesn't actually work that way. And sometimes they're saying some of your greatest joys can come from experiencing a no. So they're also bringing in this other message here with this. They're saying that the Justice card, a lot of us have wishes, and then when those wishes get dashed, you know, for example, you wanted to be with this person and you could have sworn Spirit was saying yes, they're the one, and maybe they were in that timeline, and then you shifted a timeline and now they're no longer the one, whatever, right? But the point is, when the door closes to us, we experience it as, oh man, I hate this, I hate God, I hate life, why doesn't anybody ever give me anything, I never get anything, everyone's always taking things from me, they're abandoning me, they're rejecting me, I'm not worthy, if I were, this person wouldn't leave, all those feelings. And they're saying that you don't realize that you're equating a closed door with a loss of self. They're saying, which is the worst, a loss of self, right? It's like, I don't mean anything. But they're saying that closed doors many times are the actual, they literally are the actual answer to your prayer. It's like you prayed for love, but you chose someone lame. And then when God closed the door on that lame person so that they can give you the very answer to your prayers, you're angry because you perceive of that closed door as God denying you your prayers, when it's like, wait, no, hold on, we're still on the plan, right? God's like, didn't we plan to bring you to love? And then you started hanging out with so-and-so. I was in the middle of the plan. Where did you go? And so I just closed the door so you can get back on the plan, right? But we're like, but I didn't see, like, can I get the man already, right? And so the point that they're trying to make here is that sometimes we perceive of closed doors as injustice, or things that are just not just. Like, oh my gosh, this girl cheated on me and they left me with nothing, I blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it's exactly what you needed for you to kick some internal habits that needed to be changed so that you can walk into your 9 of Cups feeling. Maybe you have a bad case of low self-esteem, right? Welcome to the world. And so they made that happen for you. They had you go through something that just highlighted that low sense of self-worth, so that you can focus on it and work on it and kick that habit. And therein, the justice is actually coming through that closed door so that you can learn, right? And so they're saying that these are very important tips to help you through life. They're saying what kills us the most is our expectation. There are expectations of things. But to be fair, to play human's advocate, guys, here, I'm the human who advocates for us. I mean, that's how we're conditioned to feel, right? We're conditioned to feel these ways. Any hoodles. Another thing that they're saying, another tip for you, and it's one that resounds through the ethers, is when it's time to release. When they say give something up, give it up. Because look, this looks like the Death card, but it's not the Death card. This is actually the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles speaks about somebody who is miserly, in a miserly way, holding on to something way too long, way too much. You have to give. You have to let it go. And this guy is like, nope, I'm not letting go of this. So much so that look at the Death card. The Death guy. He's like, excuse me, hi. I'm. You may know me. I'm from the Death card. I had to come over here to pick this up. Yeah, he left an entire Death card to come get your stuff. So this is what they're saying. If you see how there's the 1 and the 5, right? That's a 4, but see how the 1 and the 5, the I and the V, and then just the I. Guess what? The Magician, here he is working it. He's got 1 pentacle, not 4, and he's got other things he can focus on. Because he let go of those things, now he can focus on 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got other things he can focus on. He let go of that V, and now he's just got the I, right? So the point is that when you let go of so many things, it frees you up to be able to work better within the world. Sometimes it's that very thing that you don't want to let go of that you just should. Because that thing that you should let go is absolutely blocking you from achieving what it is that would bring you into alignment with your higher self. When you're in alignment with your higher self, you are feeling good. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have ups and downs, but you're going to be feeling fulfilled because you'll be living your life's purpose, experiencing in the way that you were designed to experience. It's when we start going off path and we start spending too long with things, and that's when it really starts to hurt. And then interventions happen, tower moments happen. Like if we were to just let go when God said let go, then we wouldn't have to come in and find these two people in bed together. We wouldn't have to hear about it around the way. We wouldn't have to see our coworker gunning for our job behind our back, right? So these are just things that need to happen. And when we release, when we're prompted to, when we use our intuition, you see the I there? It's like the Magician also being there with his intuition melded together there so that he can move well in the world. When we do that, we're able to experience better, and we are able to bolster ourselves against the cyclical ups and downs of life, right? So that's just another tip to help release when it's time to release. Another tip that they're giving us here is that things are going to get better. They just are. Look at this. This is the same lovely lady in both of these cards. In the left card, she's the 8 of Cups, right? The 8 of Cups speaks of walking away or separation. Here she is still wondering what happened. Homeboy's already gone. She's like, what happened? What's going on? You can see her in 8 and 9 of Swords territory right there, mixed with the 5 of Cups, grief, right? But there she is, in this 8 of Cups energy of walking away in separation and all the grief it brings. She's struggling right there. The struggle is real. But then here we are in the Queen of Wands. There she is on top of the world. I'm getting that song. She's a beautiful girl. She's a beautiful girl. Remember that song? And everything around her is a silver moonlight. Yeah, that song. That's what I'm getting right here. And what they're trying to show is it's the same person, 2 different mindsets. They're saying you have to know and wait for it, guys, wait for it. This too shall pass, is what they're saying. This too shall pass. And so that, I don't even need to like explain that anymore. I guess the best way is for us to look back. Remember those old, friends, or like say boyfriends or girlfriends or whatnot in the past, who we were like so hung up on, and then now I'll ask you about them, you're like, oh, so and so, no, I don't even think about that person anymore. That's because it's resolved in your mind. It's resolved. That passed. And with every heartbreak and with every stress comes, I guess, a greater awareness, a greater resolve. I hate to say this, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I mean, lame, puke city, right? It's true, but it's so cliche. But it's so true. Every time you go through a heartbreak or a loss of some sort, it makes you stronger because you have had that experience already. Your body remembers it, your synapses remember it, your everything remembers it. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy, right? But it means that on some level you have gathered a certain sense of awareness around what to expect in a time like that, right? And so you're not blindly going into it. It's never going to be as painful as it was the first time around, right? Well, I don't want to say that. God knows. God knows, right? Anyway, let's take a look here. Hey, he's back. The death card. The death guy. He got back on his horse. So what we're seeing here is that Spirit is saying another thing to know and to keep with you in your back pocket as you navigate life is that there will always be a reason for what you go through. There will always be a lesson. And you see, they're saying in order to really, how can we say it? In order to really transmute an experience, you must seek and fulfill that lesson. Look at this person. He still hasn't fully grasped it. Look at him. He's this Page of Swords. He's holding this Ace of Swords. He still hasn't fully grasped what the lesson was from this situation that ended. Look at his face. It's full-on consternation, right? But at least he's holding the sword. At least he's trying. And look at these three approaching him, these three issues coming to him again. They're saying there will always be... It's almost like he's holding the sword. He doesn't know what to do with it. We're like, swing the sword! And he doesn't know because he hasn't gotten the lesson yet. He just knows he got the sword. What do I do with it? But after... They're saying until he learns what to do with that information, more and more and more experiences will come. So imagine him, this situation ended and he found a sword. And now he's like, what is this? What do I do with this? And then until he finds out, we're going to have people like these coming. Look at these thugs coming now. And it should dawn on him, oh, I have to swing this sword and decapitate these people. That's what this is. Yes, you've learned the lesson. When people come around to hurt you, you get out of that situation. If you have to swing on him, swing on him. But soon he'll start to realize that he can't just go around swinging on people with swords. He has to start thinking, well, I'm getting tired of this. Maybe there could be a way where I don't even find myself in this position anymore, where I'm not even seeing these people. Oh, maybe I should get on that ship and go out onto the sea and go to another land. Because maybe things are going to be different. That's his walking away, right? That's the release. My point is, in that little analogy, that they're saying you're always going to expect, or you should always expect the lesson. And until you learn the lesson and until you can articulate and demonstrate that lesson through tests, Spirit does tests, until you can articulate and demonstrate it, you are going to continue to experience these issues. Okay, and the last message that they're saying is super important. First of all, isn't he just the cutest? Look at him. Aw, look at his little legs. Cute. Mwah. All right, so they're saying that perhaps one of the most important lessons that they're going to bring you today, or tips for navigating life, is this. Your intuition is reliable. Okay, that's what they're saying. Trust your intuition. Trust your gut. They're saying they understand moving forward that people have issues identifying their gut instincts in the present and in the future, moving forward. But they're saying, look in the past. Hindsight is 2020. Look at past events, match them up. How many times could you say, oh my God, I totally knew that? Like, I knew it. Why didn't I trust it? Right? Collect all of those experiences objectively and try to suss out. I love that they use the word suss. Try to suss out, I guess, those moments. Where did you feel that information? Was it in your gut? Did you see it? Did you hear it? Right? And try to identify how you best receive, in the most reliable way, your intuition. They're saying your intuition will never fail you. It's your internal guidance system. And they're saying to stop playing small. If you're like, but I don't know how to, they're like, stop it. Psh, stop it. Hey, they said that. They're saying stop playing small, because the truth is you are a powerhouse. And the truth is that you do not tap into these things because at the end of the day, it conflicts with what you want. You want the man in the bed or the woman in the bed. You want the money in the bank. You want the notoriety. You want this. You want that. And so when your intuition pops up and says, no, this is not for us, of course you're going to be confused and have denial, right? And not know what you're hearing. Or some of you may even get mad at what you're hearing. And so they're saying, don't get it twisted. The fact is, you were born with your intuition, you have your intuition, you will die with your intuition. And it's about time that you really start to tap into that, because it will definitely serve you well. And they're saying it's one of the most important tips that they're bringing today. Notice it gets its own corner. Cute, right? So I know for sure that when I look back, I'm always like, oh, so obvious. My intuition was going off and I didn't want to hear it. And it's so true, guys. It really, really is true. And that's why at the end of the day, we can get angry with our guides and all of this. But they listen and they listen and they comfort. But they know, and we know, and they know that we know, and we know that they know that we know that they know, right? That we know it was really us, because we were being warned all the time and we chose not to listen and we went into confusion. There's actually a psychological state. I don't want to say state, but a psychological defense mechanism. It's called confusion as a form of denial, right? It's like, you know what you need to do, but you're going to deny it. And you're going to deny it by being confused. You really, really experience it as confusion. You really, really do. Because on some deep level, you don't want it to be true that he's not the one for you. That he's just a karmic partner. He's not your twin, or he's not your soulmate. He's just a karmic partner here for the year to teach you something. And you don't want to hear it. So you get confused at a certain level, and then you experience that confusion as real. And then you're like, well, I don't know what to do. Well, what does he mean when he says this? And why does he do that? And listen, we know why that man doing it, all right? Okay, and vice versa. Men, women, we all do it. And so the point is, it's time to really take a look at why it is that we're so exhausted and we're struggling. To sum up, they're saying that yes, life sucks at times, but please think about life as school. You are at university. You're at school right now. You're not at home on the couch. You're at university. You're away at school, and you're smack dab in the middle of your courses, right? That's what they're saying, doing a lot of field research. And so some things that will help you is to remember that life is cyclical. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be up and down. You're supposed to be triggered left and right. You have to remember that your intuition is going to guide you all the time. It's almost like you go away and the only tool that they give you is a compass. What's the compass? It's your intuition. You have to know that sometimes the closed door, the rejection, the no is the answered prayer. It's the prayer on its way to being answered, right? You have to know that you have to let go when you're being prompted to let go by the universe, by everybody, by your intuition. You have to know that these things too will pass. It's a cycle. what was down tomorrow will be back up tomorrow or the next day. Sorry guys, it's so late. What was down yesterday will be up tomorrow or in a week or whatnot. And you have to know that the lesson is going to be learned. It's either you're going to learn the lesson or you're going to learn it next lifetime or the next lifetime, but you will continue to work on it, and you will continue to find yourself in similar circumstances until you learn to swing that sword. And then when you learn to swing that sword, that's when you start to realize, why am I spending my life swinging swords? I just don't want to deal with it at all. And that's when you're really starting to get somewhere. And then you'll start to realize, oh, I could just walk away from this situation altogether. And that's when 8 of Cups comes out. Okay, that walk away. Anyway, guys, so it's kind of like just a little bit of a pit stop today. They wanted to kind of give you some tips for navigating life, just so that things don't remain rough all the time. They want you to know that they've got your back and they're supporting you at all times. You just have to ask, okay? All right. Anyway, also I want to mention that if you have issues getting in touch with your what do you call it? Your intuition, of course, definitely. That's one of the things that I do offer coaching in. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, I could help you activate your ear chakras, things like that, get you in touch with where you have your intuition, just give you some, what would it be, a practicum? It would be activations as well as like a practicum, so I take you through those steps, and it's usually kind of fun. It's usually fun when the guides start giving you stuff to practice with, and you're like, did you hear that? So anyway, so that's something to consider. So long story short, this is what the guides brought through. If you'd like a personal reading with me, feel free to check the box below, and if you'd like to donate, thank you in advance for that. Mwah. Okay, love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.